I mean, look, it doesn't take that much attention to detail to notice these kinds of things. And these people, if you're going to be making a documentary, you would think you'd be a little bit more attuned to. And doesn't this guy do actual movies? Zombie movies?
We don't know that.
So what about continuity?
Think about this. No, you want to talk about continuity. Anybody who is a filmmaker,
stickler on continuity.
Anyone who's a filmmaker who is going to be making a ghost documentary, especially of this kind of magnitude, you think he would be putting his name out there. Discontinuity. He would be putting his name on this, saying, these are my films. It's just an easy thing to plug your own stuff. But back to the article. This, along with the issue of Clay and his wife wearing the same clothes 3 weeks apart, leads me to think that the ghost footage was probably shot in the same day/weekend they stayed at the house. This is what's called a continuity mistake. For example, in the 1985 film Commando, Arnold Schwarzenegger. The car gets hit. We don't need to go to continuity. We know what those are.
We know what that is. Yeah, clearly that's a huge deal. That's one of the things that's the most easiest to point out. Look, if major productions in movie theaters, across the world, that gets called out all the time. Like, oh, look at that continuity difference between there and that. And this guy's trying to make it sound like a real freaking documentary, and he can't even get his shit together between 3 weeks. And he calls himself
what's
a
it called?
filmmaker?
It's called
discontinuity.
Yes.
There's a lot of it.
Oh,
the devil.
Yes.
Now, trying to pawn this off as real, the devil is in the details in this. And the film follows a paranormal activity style format. The activity builds slowly and gets worse. Clay then starts researching the house. Well, to be fair, he calls someone and asks for microfilm to be emailed to him for all newspapers between the years of 1938 to 1942. I don't know about you, but whenever I've worked with historical societies with such research requests, there is a considerable fee involved for them doing the work for you. Many that I have interacted with are way too understaffed to handle such a request. I have never had any offer to email me microfilm copies from all newspapers of a local area for 4 years, which Clay himself estimates to be over 4,000 newspapers. At the end of the film, a special thanks is given to the Penn Archival Services. A search on Google in Pennsylvania resulted in no matches to such an organization. It doesn't exist.
Wow.
That makes a lot of sense. So far, this makes sense.
Well, that doesn't seem to matter because Clay shows us a microfilm negative in an article from March 21st, 1941. The article shows a picture of the house and tells the story of a horrific event in which a Ruth Blackwell was looking after some children who were later reported missing and eventually found dead. There are so many issues here. But the flag is back up. First, the 1941 article looks like a modern-day document from a newspaper template with added filter to make it look old. From reading and copying old newspaper articles, I'm used to seeing dividing lines between the columns. There were none with this article. It is also very vague on details, from the location of the house to what the event actually was. Overall, it looked like a newspaper template one can find online rather than an actual 1941 article. The article names a Ruth Blackwell as the killer and James Blackwell as her husband. A search of Ancestry.com reveals a 37-year-old white female who lives in Tioga, Pennsylvania, northern mid-state, and her 2 sons, Lerone and Roger. This listing on the 1940 census. She was listed as head of the household and not married. The name James Blackwell also got a hit in the 1940 census. That of a 27-year-old black man living in Wilkinson, Pennsylvania with his wife, also Ruth Blackwell, a 20-year-old black female. So the census data is not adding up that this article is real and that's one of the things. You cannot get microfiche newspaper information that fast. Talk about just a terrible, terrible thing to put in if you're trying to be authentic here.
Yeah,
there must be
really.
something wrong. There must be something wrong with the data. There's got to be something wrong with the data.
You'd think so. Maybe something is wrong with the researcher.
Yeah, maybe the research is wrong.
You know, maybe there is
he
the
can't be
correct
lying.
data out there. No, why would he lie about
This
something
can't
like
be.
that?
Why would he lie?
Why would he lie about something like that?
Oh, why would I lie about something like that?
Thank you.
This article starts to get towards the end, and he's gracious and says, I won't give away the ending. Well, we already did, mostly because I'm
thank you.
against spoilers, even with a fake documentary like this. However, the climactic ending is the same practical effect he used in another video on his YouTube channel. For a filmmaker that made several entertaining zombie movies, he seems to have little imagination when it comes to ghost activity. Now, I'd like to return to what I believe is the most significant evidence that this film is a work of fiction. The image of the house, included in the 1941 article, has a few elements that have not changed in the 77 years that have passed. Chief among them are the trees. The trees on the left and right of the house are the exact same height and shape in the 1941 image as they are when Clay and his wife walk up to the house during the film. The trees are covering the same section of the windows with the same branches. Whoa, remember those windows? I can't believe it's the same window.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
literally the same
I
window.
chopped them down just to make sure that they looked exactly the way we saw them last time. Like, it was for us. Are you serious?
Yeah, kudos. So you're saying they got really good landscapers, and they've had really good landscapers for
let's
a
make the
long,
trees
long,
look
long
exactly
time.
the same. Yeah.
All right, go ahead with that, Rob. Yeah, stick up for him. There is a floodlight. There is a floodlight on the front lawn that can be matched up in both the 1941 image and the modern video image. Yeah, floodlights
Seriously?
in the 40s.
All right. On that one, you
There should
got
not
me
be
on that one.
floodlights
That
at
one's
all.
tough. That one's tough.
Oh, there's more.
There should not be a floodlight. I'm
There
sorry.
are two statues of dogs holding baskets in their mouths in front of the pillars of the front door, and one can be seen in the 1941 image. The other is blocked by bushes. There is one more glaring mistake. There used to be a huge tree in the front lawn that would have been dead center in the 1941 photo if it had actually been taken in 1941. How do I know this? I found the house on Google Maps, bitch. He said, oh, he doesn't say bitch. He says, I had a hunch. I had a hunch that the house was probably closer to Clay's residence, which would make his job easier. So he thinks Clay lives in this area. I decided to look around his neighborhood on Google Maps. I was able to locate an address for Clay through public records and use it as a starting point. I put in as a second point an intersection shown in the film and mapped a route. I searched the adjoining neighborhoods using satellite images, looking for the unique characteristics of the street and house seen in the film. It took about 20 minutes to find the house, which is in Lexington, Kentucky, not Pennsylvania, so no reason for the plane is needed because it's in his neighborhood. I found realtor listings with photos taken in 2013 and 2015 that show a huge tree in the front lawn. It was removed before the film was made. A little more digging revealed that the current owner of the house is none other than Clay Turner himself. In fact, he's
Shut up.
Son of a
owned
bitch.
this house since February of 2015.
God damn it, man. Of course.
He's Zach Baggins us. He's Zach Baggins
He's
us. He
Zach
locked himself
Baggins
in his
us.
own house.
I think he's worse than Baggins. Baggins is, at least is
worse.
not deliberately, completely faking everything. He might, his reactions are questionable, but
He's
it's
over
not,
the top. He's dramatic, but he doesn't do this. He doesn't like completely gaslight everybody and trick everybody. This is fucked up.
This is whole cloth invented in 2012. Is that hotel
By
video,
Host.
which you guys seen that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
If
Let me
this
check
film-
back on
I haven't seen it. I don't even know what you're talking about. I have no idea.
Let me.
Well,
let me
this
think about
guy
I
made
might-
it. He's literally wearing the same lanyard. He's wearing another thing. This guy only owns like 5 articles of clothing, and he's wore them in everything. And he's so easy to bust
Yeah.
him.
We haven't really talked much about like what the actual ghost effect looks like. This
pretty
this
good.
effect that
Honestly,
he's
pretty
used
good.
he used it in these 2 videos. It's the same exact effect in the hotel video as it is in the lamp video. But what it kind of looks like is
It looks like a
looks
sheet
like,
floating across a room. It looks like what you
not even.
think
It
of
just
a
looks
ghost.
like
No,
it looks like they digitally removed someone walking around in a
Right.
scene. Is kind of what it looks
Yeah.
like.
It's just a
And
silhouette.
it-
You're right. A white
Yeah,
silhouette.
it looks like a
ghost.
light blotch, like a light blotch goes by the screen.
are we
pretty much.
talking about the same video?
It could be all of them. Yeah, if you're looking at the hotel video, the
hotel one doesn't look like a sheet. It looks like a person for sure.
It's like a figure. You know what it kind of reminds me of when people have their aura read. It looks like an aura, but just the aura, I wouldn't know. Outline of an aura going.
I've actually never had my aura read, and I will never let anybody look at my aura because that's private. But if I'm going to see an aura, it's not going to have the details of like a dress. Like I thought I saw a person walking across, not an aura.
It could be. It could be a very entertaining zombie floating by.
Yeah, exactly. Now we know it was a very entertaining zombie fake. We know that now.
It is. And now we're going to get...
effect. It's definitely an effect.
Now we're going to get to the point of all this. This type of fake documentary is what spreads false beliefs and misleading information to the interested public. In many of the reviews of this film, the question of its authenticity is questioned, but there are many that believe it's a true story. In a review of the film on iHorror, the author states, throughout the film, he never once wavers in his assertion that what he and his wife Terry are experiencing is actually real. Furthermore, he backs up those claims with alleged research proof of the history of the home. I have to admit, by the end of the film, I wasn't entirely sure what to believe. Jordan, 2017. All right, iHorror Jordan. Anyone who watches this, and if you're having this opinion, you shouldn't be writing for a blog. You should be writing articles like I'm reading.
No, you shouldn't be writing articles at all. Just, get off the internet. Just find a different hobby.
Some people are that gullible, I guess. There really are some people who are that gullible.
Yeah, and they don't belong on the internet.
Well, that's not us, though. And we're the Unbelievers podcast.
Correct.
Now, I'm going to end it here. Turner Clay, he has tapped into this post-Blair Witch paranormal activity method of filmmaking. While those films eventually revealed themselves as entertainment, Clay has maintained his deceptions and continued to build upon a previous hoax, that hotel video.
What?
He also managed to convince many viewers that his work is a reality rather than the fiction it really is. If Clay happens to stumble upon this article, I hope he reconsiders making any more of these false documentaries. Stick to zombie movies, at least those commonly accepted as fiction from the start. Now, of course, even if he did, he would not. And I will say right now, that this guy has not wavered from this. He's made 2 sequels to this, which are also available on this convenient streaming site. And I'm just going to say it now.
It's insane. That's insane to me that there's 2 more of these.
All of these are contending to be real ghost footage, and people watching this who might not have a certain perspective on it might think that this guy is for real, and he's not. And I'm just saying it now, and I'm going to ask for someone to second me, but this week's poll might be, does Turner Clay belong in the SOS Hall of Fame? I'm just putting this on the board, and if someone would like to second it, I will put it up as the poll result. Anyone second it?
I actually don't second it because I don't feel like he's gotten anything out of it. I don't feel like he's suckering anybody's money. I don't feel
he's on awesome. I mean, people can buy this or rent this if they have. No, oh God, I'm saying beep all that out.
Russ.
We don't know where it's on.
Also, well, look, he's also not been, a child pedophile. I'm being redundant. He's not a pedophile, so that's different too. Like he's not. He
does get points for not being a pedophile.
Yeah,
you always you always get points for not being a pedophile.
Has Roman set the bar so low that you have to diddle kids to be on the outside? No, I don't think so.
I don't really see that he's getting that much money out of this.
All right,
okay,
I'll sell it.
Maybe fine.
I'll sell a little more myself. That when I watched this with my son Alex, and he was scared. And the only reason I stumbled across this because I had to prove to him that this was not real and read some of this to him. And people take this seriously.
I can't believe what I just freaking saw.
If he scared your son, if he made your son scared, and he's also full of shit, then that's actually enough for me to put him in the SOS, because you can't go around scaring kids and knowing that you're not legit, and then getting money from a certain streaming service that may or may not be providing same-day service and delivery.
Right, and Slim Fast and toilet paper and all that good
exactly.
stuff.
I was going to if I know we're getting closer to the end of this segment here, I was going to say originally that I was going to give him props on his research on
Robert.
This guy went and got newspapers from
but he didn't
from
really.
years ago.
No, he didn't really.
Listen, but
oh my God.
But Listen,
so
he
gullible.
got these newspapers, and this